Lauren Chen is a person that I met, how many times? Like twice, I think. Or no, 3 times, actually. You know what? She held Rose. And then she later tried to claim that she couldn't be a fascist because she held my baby. Or was that the straw man of what she said? Again, being hyperbolic, just to clarify here. But yeah, Lauren Chen is someone who I've kind of like brushed shoulders with, as being in the same genre of content, being in the similar industry, I guess, if you want to call it that way. Me and Lauren Chen were never like friends. We were acquaintances, people that met on YouTube in the business, and we like had each other's contact. That's it. And like I said, we like brushed shoulders like once or twice at some speaking engagements or something, because a lot of people say Hunter stabbed his friends in the back. No, I didn't. I started calling Lauren Chen fascist Barbie doll for being a fascist. Stabbing Lauren Chen in the back would be like if we were actually like friends or something, and then she told me something that was personal or private, and then I went out and leaked it. That, I would say, would constitute as, you know, stabbing someone in the back. So yeah, I don't really like Lauren Chen's content very much. Earlier today, she posted this video. Woke books are everywhere. Peak cringe. And I kid you not, it's just Lauren Chen walking through a anonymous bookstore, but I'm going to go ahead and just guess it's a Barnes & Noble because I don't know the name of any other bookstore that still exists. And finding books with like some progressive slants to it, and then getting triggered about it and claiming that like the woke liberal multicultural agendas infiltrating our every move. And it's also just a little, we're going to play it in just a second, don't worry, but just a little bit more irony really quickly here is conservatives are flipping out because of how sensitive the libcucks are over the Dr. Seuss books. LOL, right? And that yet now we have an 8-minute video of Lauren Chen crying about books in a bookstore. All right, so can we just get started, please, with local Lauren Karen
bookstore. So for everyone who's going to give me crap for wearing a mask, they are mandatory in here. Not my fault. First, we've been in the book.
She has to defend herself. Guys, I know that I'm following the science here for just a moment. Please don't get too triggered.
2 minutes. Motherhood So White. A memoir of race, gender, parenting in America. All right, so what is this? Just don't be white if you're a parent? History of adoption in the African American.
Lauren Chen, literally judging a book by its cover. Motherhood So White, a memoir of race, gender, and parenting in America. It sounds like some kind of like, yeah, probably like nuanced, liberal, lefty kind of thing about race relations in America and how that affects parenting or whatever. And she's like, so just what? Don't be a white person and have kids? Is that what they're saying?
History of...
She didn't even read it. Like, she just opened the front cover. It's the story of this person's fight to create the family she always knew she was meant to have, and the story of motherhood that all American families need now. In this unflinching account of her parenting journey, she examines the history of adoption in the African American community, faces off against the stereotypes of single black motherhood, and confronts the reality of raising children of color in racially charged modern-day America. Literally, so what? This is a memoir about someone navigating having racism thrown their way. Sorry that you're offended by someone making a book about their life.
We have 2 different books about RBG. This one actually talks about things like the pay gap, because you got to teach little girls that the world will discriminate against them because of their gender. And what is it? Yeah,
sure, there are some books at Barnes & Noble that are liberal and cringy and don't deliver proper information or whatever, but like, you're at a bookstore. They sell any kind of book. Where is like the propaganda? Where's this infiltrating? If this was like a mandatory curriculum that was like in public school or something, then maybe you'd have some kind of an argument here, but like, just walking into a bookstore, this would be like if I walked into Blockbuster in the 1990s and then just found the religious section of the store and then was like, oh, Christian propaganda's everywhere. It's like they sell books that some have political slants and some don't. And this right here is what I needed to get. I got this for Christmas, actually, as a gag gift. Good Night, Sleepy Joe. Here is a anti-Joe Biden book. I'm going to guess it's kind of geared for kids. I mean, it actually looks very similar to the RGB one she's looking at there. And this is like hilarious, okay? Sometimes when it's time for Sleepy Joe to go to bed, lots of things start creeping into his head. And look, it's got like, he's got like Karl Marx up there. Like, it's obviously just like a straw man of what the right is, like their worst fear. Green New Deal, Obama coming out of the closet with the binoculars. It's so funny. Sometimes Sleepy Joe has good dreams. Whenever he has trouble falling asleep, he smells his mom's hair and starts counting sheep. And there he is with Nancy Pelosi. And she's at the hair salon with a big shirt that says wear a mask while she's not wearing one. This also kind of proves a broader point, which is that kids' books mocking liberal shit exist also. I got this for Christmas this year. My family got this for me as a gag gift because they knew I voted for Biden. And I convinced a lot of my family to vote for Biden too, actually. My point here is just that books exist, kids' books even exist, that have political slants, but you're in a bookstore where they have anything that you can find available. So all this is really just Lauren Chen finding books that have liberal slants and then complaining about it, even though they exist with liberal slants and right-wing slants and without any political slants whatsoever. You're in a bookstore. They have everything. I'm seeing people say it in chat, and it's true. She goes into a bookstore, finds books.
So this book looks pretty harmless and cute, eyes that kiss in the corners.
Okay.
But it's strangely all about the racial differences between white people and Asians. Some people have eyes like sapphire lagoons, big eyes, long lashes, not me. It's all about her Asian eyes.
So what? Maybe if you're like a little Asian girl growing up in America, there's nothing wrong with books that introduce children to healthy ideas about like there are some differences. After all, when people are more familiar, right, they're less likely to be racist. There's not even anything wrong with this. And I wrote this down at the beginning to make sure that I have this completely correct. She said, and I quote, crazy leftist agendas. So she's going in here, this to her constitutes the crazy leftist agenda.
Which is, I guess, good for self-empowerment, but it ends on a weird note.
Okay.
Says her eyes are a revolution. What a weird way to frame racial differences.
She's like trying to find problems with it too, where there just are none. Here's one part that's kind of weird and like a little new agey, like some books are.
The larger kids section, and what do we have down here?
Oh boy.
This book is anti-racist.
The crazy leftist agenda exposed, being against racism. Oh fuck. Shit. The most bizarrest of leftist agendas infiltrating and seeping through every page. The crazy leftist agendas, the propaganda. Hey, racism is bad.
A book that essentially teaches young kids to be annoying intersectional activists.
Maybe, or maybe it teaches people to not grow up and be like you, Lauren.
The infamous anti-racist baby book. Like, this is actually just being sold with the other picture books. And it's by Ibram X. Kendi. Goodness. Never let that man around children.
I don't even know who that is. Should I know who that is?
Racist baby is bred, not born. Oh, it rhymes. Yeah,
This is like a comedic picture book. To me, this is like on par with this, The Goodnight Sleepy Joe. Babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There's no neutrality. Take these 9 steps to make equity a reality. Like, yeah, this is some libtard kind of sounding shit. No doubt, but come on. It's like a little kid's picture book with a comedic political slant that, again, is optional. Like, you can, listen, if you want to make a video and talk about should parents be reading books that have political slants to children, if you want to have that conversation, then fine, have that conversation. But don't complain about books just being sold that you don't like. And hold on, let me pull up some receipts. Okay, so capitalism has created more wealth and brought more people out of poverty than any other system. Okay, cool. So Lauren Chen makes it pretty clear, with multiple different tweets, that she for the most part, supports capitalism. Don't let anyone try and tell you the lack of compassion for supporting capitalism. Capitalism may not be perfect, but it's miles better than any alternative. Okay, so overall, she's relatively in favor of capitalism. This is a result of capitalism. A private business selling books, some with political slants that sell. I mean, that's just like, this is capitalism. This is the system that you advocate for, Lauren. So don't complain that people want to buy comedic kids books with slight political slants. And also what's even funnier is some of this is actually quite defensible. There are subtle ways when people are raised and they grow up that sometimes racism is taught to them. It's true that racism is taught. That's just like a true statement. Abram X Kennedy is insane, bro. Yeah, okay, he might be insane. And listen, we should have a conversation about, like, is this kind of stuff appropriate to be reading to children? But it's a store selling it. Like, if someone wants to buy it, then okay, no one's forcing anyone to read this.
We're going to leave the kids section because this is all children's books and go to the adult cringe.
So that's it. That's all they had for the kids' books. 2 books that said racism bad, a book about a girl who was Asian, and something about, like, a politician.
Bookstore, we got some nice feminist propaganda. The future is female. We got Kamala Harris. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, statements like the future's female is really cringy, by the way, 100%. Stuff like this, like a lot of this stuff is just lib shit. Cringe.
You know, trans, ableism, multiculturalism in sports.
Did everybody hear that? Do we need an instant replay?
And some nice, you know, trans, ableism, multiculturalism in sports.
Are you kidding me? This is the woke agenda, guys. A person in a wheelchair. I need a break. I can't do it anymore. This is how polluted these fuckers have gotten. This is how mushy their brains are. They went from, like, hey, some of this really hypersensitive liberal woke stuff and calling Trump literally Hitler is a little bit cringy, guys. They went from that to, oh my God, someone in a wheelchair, look at this trans disableism, multiculturalism, for showing a girl who, you know, hood? Is that supposed to be a burqa? Or is she literally just in a hood? And is she saying it's multiculturalism because they're black? Disabled people playing sports. The liberal woke propaganda's at it again. I say things sometimes that are hyperbolic, and then they just end up being true. Like I used to say, when it comes to the right will just deem anything that's not like a straight white guy as woke. But it's starting to become true.
We're in the fitness section, and I just don't even understand anymore. It seems like it's just a regular fitness book, but with RBG. But it's like, why? This is weird. This is culty. Like, Trump supporters may go hard, but they would never do this.
Yeah, you're right. Trump supporters wouldn't print a funny book with Trump in there about working out. They would just go raid the fucking Capitol and commit an insurrection. Listen, if I ever become this much of a snowflake that I have to walk through Barnes & Noble and sift my way through a ton of different books to go and find something to be offended by, please do me a favor and just shoot me in Minecraft. And by the way, I somewhat agree that, like, it is cringy, but again, it's like, it's capitalism. If that's gonna sell, if there are enough lib shits out there that see an RBG workout book and then they're gonna buy it, then Barnes & Noble's gonna sell it. This is, after all, the system that you support, Lauren.
So now I'm in the nursing/medicine section, and we have, here we go, black man in a white coat. Doctor's reflections on race and medicine. Should this really be in the medicine section? Shouldn't this be in the race section? I don't know. This stuff, it infiltrates every single issue. Okay, so now we're in
conservative cell phone. Yeah, Lauren, racism does really infiltrate a lot of issues, doesn't it? Yikes. Think about all the times that you walk into a Barnes & Noble and there's like the conservative book right in the front. Remember Milo Yiannopoulos had his book all over the place? Now, I will point this out. There's a Christianity section in Barnes & Noble, too. So this would be like me, someone who's agnostic, walking into Barnes & Noble, going in the Christian section, and then being like, wow, look at all this weird shit. Huh, looks like the Christian propaganda's at it again. That would be stupid, and everyone would make fun of me, rightfully so. Let me see, do they actually have a race section? Hold on, yeah, I think they do. Yep, they do. They do actually have a race section. I mean, Lauren, if anything, you should be supporting this bookstore. It sounds like they have a little bit of segregation going on.
Single issue. Okay, so now we're in science, and we have this Hidden Figures, The American Dream, and the Untold Story of the Black Women Mathematicians Who Helped Win the Space Race. Apparently there were a surprising number of them because this book is pretty dang long. I feel like no matter what the topic is, you could have an entire book series dedicated to what Black people did in said topic.
Base Lauren Chen. Try and ignore the fact that she's sarcastically up here sniveling about books, talking about how racism is bad and acting like this is some weird woke libtard agenda. Look, guys, I'm telling you, conservative propaganda is seeping into our literature. Look at, I'm just going through a nice little stroll through the Barnes and the Nobles, and then this, not so noble, a bunch of fucking Trump shit right in my face, trying to cram the Trump agenda down my throat. Sean Hannity, a New York Times bestseller? The conservative propaganda, it's everywhere. Oh my god, I'm triggered. Anyone could do this with anything. And this right here, yeah, 3,000 people already gave this a thumbs up and said, yeah, hell yeah, the liberal woke propaganda infiltrating the fucking library.
Now we get on to the great stuff. Magazines.
Okay, I don't care how much you like Kamala Harris. I really don't think she deserves to be on this cover.
Yeah, okay. I agree with Lauren right there, 100%. This is some lib shit stuff. The greatest woman in history? No.
Greatest? Really? That's pretty bold. And of course we have Bitch magazine.
And boom, there's Lauren Chen's face right on the cover.
Before you give to them, because there might be some surprise wokeness in there you are not prepared for. Also, the RBG thing was weird. I did not understand before how much.
I agree that the RBG thing is weird. Yeah, a lot of weird shit with that. But it's a little weirder to go into a bookstore and find some books that are like, hey, if you're a little girl who's Asian, then that's okay. You have big, pretty eyes. And being like, look at the woke propaganda infiltrating every single moment. She literally is acting like a snowflake who is offended by everything right now. It's so weird.